afternoon. How is everyone doing today? And this evening, we're going to continue our message of the status of your heart. The status of your heart. And earlier, we talked about different scenarios that played a part in determining whether you are actually really delivered. And for many, I got a few inboxes, a few texts, and a few calls establishing the fact that there's a hunger for many to see, uh, am I really in the will of God as it relates to knowing who I am? Because when we think of rest, we got to think of rest in the totality of who God is. That means in his power, in his wisdom, in his authority, in his mindset. And for many of you, because you're so prideful, you 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 want to play like you're close to God, but actually you're farther away because God looks at your secret dealings, those secret lies, the secret conversation. So that's why I was stating earlier about the condition of your heart, the action of your heart. And see, anybody that moves grimy or manipulatively, you got to understand that that shows that you're not really in the heart of God. So why would I say that? Because before that, I told many of you, or I try to teach many of you about what imputed righteousness is in such a way that sometimes the way you moving, even though it's wrong, if you admit it, understand it, and begin to appreciate it because you know God already knew what many of you would be doing. So this evening, we're going to talk in Romans chapter 11. I think where we're going at. And this deal with the restoration of Israel, right? And the greatness and the salvation of Israel. Because many of you don't understand who you are because you've never really been saved. All you have been doing is following a tradition of religion fueled by a spirit of familiarity based on a spirit of neglect. Why would I say neglect? Because you're following people who really don't understand God's purpose for their life, but they can teach you enough God that you think God in your life. See, I'm trying to tell you, you can't be 20, 30, 40 years in talking about you know God and you're not confident that you hear his voice. You don't have no power. You don't know your gift. You don't know your call. All you've been doing is wasting time. Hebrews 11:1 says, I say thee, has God cast away his people? Certainly not. Many of you got to understand some of the state of living that you in is not that God don't love you. It's not that God don't understand you. It's if are you willing to let your environment control you? Because understand, God before God bring you out of an environment, He wants to make sure that you don't change into that environment. So when He brings you out of that environment, He know you can go back and change that environment. And a lot of you have allowed your environments and the people around you to keep you in bondage And for many of you, dare I say it, you think it's God's will. You just haven't changed. You just haven't received complete understanding. So, despite your present state, you're not permanently cast away for many of you when you're dealing with me until you hear my voice no more. Until you hear my voice no more. Because a lot of you, enemies included, reprobates, delusional, as well as those who's really learning, it's one or two things wrong with you. Because how can you hate somebody but still want to hear what they got to say? Ask yourself that question. Either you delusional, you're dumb, or you just bored. But because 99.99% of my message is about changing your life, if your life ain't changing, you're listening for the wrong reason. Which means, whether you know it or not, you operate in a spirit of manipulation because you refuse to hear the truth, but you want to know what somebody doing. The Bible said, how can they hear without a preacher? You don't listen to nobody to preach the God, that preaching the teaching the gospel just to listen to them, just to see if they talking about you, just to see if they know about you. What that means is you're a reprobate because the gospel is for transformation. The gospel ain't for let me see if my name mentioned. Let me see you talking about what that means. You're a busybody. So, see, watch this. I don't care who they is. You do understand I can stop anybody from listening to me at any time. I don't do it. And I know why I don't do it. So until God tell me I don't need them listening to you, y'all will listen. You listen. So we go cause see, y'all do know God kind of on the slick side, don't you? You know, like some of us. Because he'll let you get exposed to something that's being spoken in your hearing, and even if you don't understand, even you ain't listening to it, all he wants you to do is hear it. You ain't got to do it. So he judging you by what you done heard and your refusal to change. See, a lot of y'all, what mama and them used to say when we get in trouble, when he get you, he gonna get you for old and new. Keep on listening and not changing. I often used to say, and I still say it, you rather not listen to me than listen to me and don't be listening to. He said, for I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. See, watch this. The reason why some of you ain't grown and your heart in the wrong place, because whenever you want to see evidence of God work, you could and should look at your own life first. So here Paul was just showing him his connection to the authority that he has to walk in the power of God. See, you're questioning who I am, but when we look at your life, we don't see God in your evident in your life. We might see a few poles, a few God said, but we don't see no fruit. Who can you call that can verifiably say you changed their life? Who can you call that verifiably said that because of the way they taught you and nurture you in God, that you can see the power in their life? See, watch this. A lot of y'all gonna be judged for trying to judge another man's work and you ain't got no work. That's like that's like going on a job and I'm putting 40 hours in. You just sitting in the desk getting your 40, but you gonna tell somebody else I don't work hard enough and all you do is sitting there. I'm saying something without saying something. Like I'm warning you. So before you try to tear down somebody else working God, before you try to think somebody else ain't saying that ain't God, ask yourself, what your fruit? What your ministry? What the people call you for help, advice, and whatnot? How many things that you had to lose? What's your testimony of the trial you went through? Oh, you ain't got none. Shut up then. God has not cast away his people whom he foreknew. Or do you know that the scripture says of Elijah how he pleads with God against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed your prophets and torn down your altars, and I alone am left, and they seek my life. But what does this divine response say to him? I have reserved for myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to Baal. Even so, then, at this present time, there is a remnant according to the election of grace. Now, watch this. There is a remnant according to the election of, dare I say, imputed righteousness. See, a lot of the stuff you're going through and why God has his hand on some of you, even in your misdealings, even in your sin, even in your bondage, is because he hiding you from Satan. See, Satan, he knows that God is against sin. So that's why Satan wants so much to keep you in sin. But see, since Satan doesn't understand grace and mercy, since Satan don't know God plan from the beginning, he has imputed righteousness into your act, which means Christ already knew what I was going to do, why I was going to do it before I did it. So they already know. Well, look, I'm gonna let Dietrich talk about imputed righteousness. So that's letting some of my people know that the time has come for me to begin to use them. So see, while you in your sin and you crying out to God, see, the problem is some of you not crying out because you enjoy what you do. But see, I see some of you crying out because you don't want to do what you do. But I'm not gonna really give you the loophole because I got too many sinful people looking at me, waiting for a loophole so they can continue to do what they think is right, but forget to understand you're gonna pay the price. See, that's why David, he said, blessed is the man that God does not impute his sin or impute sin. That means it's personal. It ain't for every it ain't for every believer. It ain't from every leader. But I thank God that he told me it was for me. Now y'all see a lot of time when I say even when I'm wrong, I'm right. It don't mean I can do wrong on purpose. It means that I try so hard to do right sometimes that wrong they continue to follow. See, I know what Apostle Paul means. Let's go back over there. Let me see can I find it. Good old Paul, because Paul got to say it back. You know, who is this? Is that Romans? Yeah, that's Roman. Yeah, let me go on over here and go on over here and look that on up because I want to see because I feel it. I got to look at it so I can read it with some passion. Yeah, we got to read it with some passion. Yeah, but there you go. Romans 7 and 13. We'll start at 13. He said, was then that which is good made death unto me? God forbid. But seeing that it might appear sin, working death in me by that which is good, that sin by the commandment might become exceedingly sinful. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that do I. If then I do that which I would not, I consent under the law that it is good. Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing, for to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but the sin that dwelleth in me. I find then a law that when I would do good, even evil is present within me, for I delight in the law of God after the inward man. So Paul was saying, he said, see, watch this. This what we missing. Paul saying evil. You mean the man that wrote over three-fourths of the Bible, he struggled with doing evil things and God still used him? You mean the man that wrote on the three-fourths of the Bible, he didn't dot all his I's, he didn't cross his T's. It's because God allowed him to see what imputed righteousness is, which means some of the things that I do, I don't want to do it, but that flesh want to do it. But my spirit is not in it, even when my flesh participates. That's too deep for y'all. That's why you know you probably ain't got it because it ain't deep to me because I've been through it. I'm going through it, and I'm gonna go through it till I leave this earth. He said 23. He said, "But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of this death?" Paul said, I be wanting to do right, and something in my mind tell me to do wrong. I don't want to treat that woman, mama, like I treated her, but something in me said walk her like a dog. Huh? I don't want to treat them women like I treat them. See, I don't want to treat the ex-wife how I treated her sometimes. But there's a war up here, and you think because you might see a glimpse of what people warring with or what people in bondage to. You look at it and think they ain't in God. Got to be more careful. That's what you think. Paul did say, I finished my fight. It's my time. I got a crown of righteousness waiting on me. Wait a minute. But this is still the same man that was in sin. See, when y'all catch To y'all who got it, when you catch what imputed righteousness is, ain't no devil on this earth gonna stop you because God is gonna show you the way. He'll show you the strength. And for a lot of you, you can't see the way because you looking at the weakness in a person and you foregoing their strength. Man, I got told I messed somebody's life up. And if I mess your life up, why you got everything I gave you? If somebody mess your life up, to me, don't you give it back? I mess your life up. I get a phone call at 10:30 from Joey, want a few dollars for a game or something, but I was asleep, so I talked to him earlier, and he called my mama. But what the man that you bragging on? You mean to tell me Joey couldn't call him at 10:30 at night and say, "Hey, whatever his name is, I won't put name people name. I need some money because I'm playing this game." I mean, come on now, shit. The paper says divorce. The paper says single, unattached, whatever it is, it's around here somewhere. And I had to pay the little $10 and something for that. The nigga can't even afford to pay for $10. That's how I look at life. But watch this. The warrant me to say something wrong, it don't win. Cause I just do what's right. Man, you know I be sleeping this time, man. He said, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm playing a game right now. See, watch this. I'm gonna teach on this in depth. And I'm gonna show you why God hates divorce. So everybody on that side hate me. The the former ex, whatever you want to call her, that woman, I messed up your life. But the thing that mean the most to you in life, keep calling me to get life. It's this now. I messed up your life. But the thing you're supposed to love more than life, it keep calling the one that you say messed up your life. Something ain't adding up. No, I'm gonna teach on it. I ain't gonna say nothing wrong. I'm just trying to show y'all about this divorce thing. And the boy ain't even mine. That's the kicker in it. He ain't mine. They treated him like he mine. Now watch this. I bet you my son can't call him asking for nothing because they never gave him that anyway. They never gave him that anyway. In fact, they complained when I gave my own son something. I'm just telling the truth, y'all. I ain't lying. But your son got the freedom to call me and ask me, oh, y'all know I don't be playing. I'm not saying this to down nobody. I'm not saying this to rub feathers. I'm just saying the difference when things don't go right. I know some other men help raise other people's children, and the minute it was over with, the children don't call, they don't say thank you, they don't say well, they don't call them, but let me get back in my word. Yeah, yeah. Cause see, I take y'all a whole nother level of understanding that some of y'all ain't built for right now. And I don't want to lose you. Cause see, now that's why you can see that my heart pure Because guess what? I could have been real low down, real low down. Let's get on back over here. He said, God has not cast away his people. He for see, some of y'all are remnant. And oftentimes the remnant have to go through the hardest trial because of what you got to deal with. Y'all can look at him with some of you when you come to ministry you got to deal with. You got this you got this drugs they taking, this flocka, this Molly and that other that Tuka, whatever they call it, and they sit there and they take it and they hit their head up against the wall, they bleeding but they don't feel no pain. They standing up going to sleep and they looking all like this and toe up and molly mouth. Now they round here robbing the mailmen and the mail women. Your mail ain't even safe no more. Some people going on dates, not with some of them with strangers, not with strangers, but some people with people they know, and they killing you. I'm gonna try to go back on TikTok. See, I can't use that word. I can't be like I want to, but God told me I got to change my language. He said I need you on that TikTok too. So I'm see that's why I stopped going on there because I like to say the word. Unalive just don't sound the same as killing. So I'm working on my speech and my words of choice. See, watch this. Elijah had an eye problem. So he said God didn't kill everybody. See, the one thing of being taught a minute about me, I that's my way of knowing I know I ain't alone. I ain't alone. So God said, just do so what he was saying, just do your job. I got others. I got others that I got saved and hidden. At this present time, there is a remnant. See, a lot of you don't know you got grace on your life because you done cursed out all the prophets, you done blocked them, you done talked about it and gossiped. You done killed the one that God grace to give you what you need for the battle. But like I told God anyway, I said, God, I said them juggle weren't ready to battle anyway. They weren't ready. You do know God laughed at me, did you? You know why? Because he knew they wouldn't either. But that's how you understand ministry. They not be ready to battle, but they could have been useful. See, everybody ain't got to be called to ministry, but you got to be useful in ministry. What Paul told, he said, bring and bring who was Timothy, and he said, bring I can't think. He said, bring him along, for he'll be useful for the ministry. See, everybody ain't got to be no fivefold leader. Everybody ain't got to give. Everybody ain't got to evangelize. But you can be useful. But see, y'all think what y'all call the ministry, that means preaching too. That means you're a prophet. See, when we looked around and we saw it, that when you got in trouble, when your money gets short, when you faced with the bill of God, see, we sit down, we examine what people do when the pressure on. We examine what people do when they're back up against the wall. We examine. And when I mean by we examine, that means, okay, Deidre, what do you think about what such and such did when this trial came into them? They failed. Why would God ask me? Because now I'm not Jesus in human form, and he was tempted and didn't touch. Some of the things people going through, I touched, tempted, and overcame. I was talking to, I was riding with Doc today, going over to Ellenwood, and I just happened to ask about somebody in ministry. And they were saying, oh, well, they going through this, they going through that, they doing this and that. I immediately got mad. Well, why you get mad? You asked me. I said, no, people, see, when you get ready to start a ministry, it's a sacrifice. You talking about you understand the Great Commission. And see, that's why I be telling y'all, even when I'm having a hard time and going through, it don't stop me from hearing God and jumping on this video and telling you what's going on. It don't stop me. Even going through the divorce. I said, God, I just let me rest. Just let me do that. No, keep going. Keep see, watch this now. No, keep going. Understand, because I have a consistent relationship with God, ain't no way I'm not gonna hear him when he said keep going. So why do you stop when y'all going through? He didn't tell you to keep going. You finna say something. It don't hurt your feelings, but you know I don't care. That means you operate more in the flesh than you are in the spirit. That's what it means. You're not spiritually empowered to handle ministry. If you're not spiritually empowered to handle ministry, you're not spiritually empowered to handle people. See, God don't need three churches in two locations. We see from the Bible, all he needs is 12 people. And the 12 people he can't get, all he needs is one. All he needs is one. That's why I say, even when I'm around here and teaching, I'm not looking for no following. I'm not looking for five, but I got that because I help many people get what they got. But watch this. You don't see me like them. Matter of fact, you rarely see me mention anybody I really help. If I was like some of these preachers and teachers around here, see, I heard what the good Lord said. If I was like them and I subscribed to that chief apostle, chief leader, and all this, I would have 42 churches with a total, watch this, with a total of maybe 68,000 people. And I just sit there and just go around. That's not my walk in life. My walk is to tell you what you need to do, take my hand off of it, if told, and go on about my business. Money don't move me. Notoriety don't move me. Nice things don't move me. You know what moved me? Making somebody mad when I preach this gospel and I know they in it. When I offend people, that moved me. Cause boy, I be laughing. You know why I be laughing? Because I be telling the truth, and they just don't want to hear. 42. I never have to work another day in my life. That's just the churches. I ain't talking about the partners. I ain't talking about the people that I done mentored. Because some of them operate just like me. See, I don't care about all that stuff. That don't see, having a lot don't mean you good. But when you consistent in what you do and ain't got to use people as a prop, that's what make you good. That's why they like to say, I got 42 spiritual children and my spiritual father. Man, nobody don't care about that, miss. Go on now. And if by grace, see, y'all didn't know that. If people, see, I laugh when people call me pride for this and that. You don't understand my, out of 27 years, people don't understand the depth of what I've done in ministry because I don't showcase it. So when you come look at me and you say something, that's validate whether I know you hear God or not. Because there have been people that say, why you around here fooling people? I said, what you talking about? And they go to talking because you got, did you, I don't care about that. 6, and if by grace, then it is no longer of work. Otherwise, grace is no longer grace. But if it's of works, it is no longer grace. Otherwise, work is no longer work. What then? Israel has not attained when it what it seeks, but the elect have obtained it, and the rest was blinded, just as it is written. God has given them a spirit of stupor, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear to this very day. And David says, let their table become a snare and a trap, a stumbling block and a recompense to them. Let their eyes be darkened so that they do not see, and bow down their back always. See, I'm graced to do so. So the reason I don't talk about the work I did is because I talk about the work, then it's no longer grace because I'm bragging on the work. So if I brag on the works, it ain't grace. It says the elect have obtained it. Who are the elect? What I told y'all to do the first, you got to be humble. See the elect. He came from old Birmingham, Alabama, around there in the hoods, running the women, selling a few drugs, taking people out for this and that, running through the women, this and that. Turned down, but I humbled myself, and the rest were hardened. See, a lot of y'all that deal with the spirit of rejection, then you can't go with grace because you want to know, you want people to know that you did this. See, that's why y'all got to have all these pastor anniversaries. That's why y'all got to have all these 5 years. See, you think because you been in business a long time, see, you bragging on your work. You ain't never heard me say I'm having a 27-year anniversary, church anniversary. See, watch this. I'm finna say something. I hope I be alive to see it. I said it yesterday. You got to watch people who call themselves prophetic. And just like when it turned over into eighth, August the 8th month, here they come with the number eight mean this and seven plus one mean this. Watch this. When Jesus was on this earth, it was only 10 months. August, really the 7th month. That's why I tell y'all, we ain't got no business celebrating birthday because we were never meant to die. So a lot of y'all, like me, January wasn't around. So now, when you're like me, you got a birthday in a date that wasn't even around because God foresaw Jesus was going to be born and it wasn't going to be in no January. It wasn't going to be no February. It wasn't going to be no December. So watch this. They added it to him. When they add something to him, they knock the month down. So watch this. The years, the days, the month y'all using, they ain't even right either. They ain't right either. Imagine if you go to heaven and God said, "Well, when did you discover who I was in you? Meaning when your born day? January 13th. There is no January. Go to hell. Go to hell." Now suppose he said that. Suppose it now. Ah, y'all don't want the truth. Only we in this world, but not of this world. We can see the things the world doing, but we ourselves cannot put them in our spirit. We ourselves cannot live by a spirit of stupor. Now, that's a good word. That's why a lot of people cuss me out. A spirit of stupor is an attitude of deadness towards spiritual things. That's why people can't respect me for who I am because they don't understand spiritual things, which means they'll acknowledge it, they'll say something, but they won't respect it in you because they can't access it. It's good, brother Hubbard. I know it's good. I know it's good. I'm about to cry. So watch this. That's the answer to what I was saying yesterday. I said people will see me doing miracle. People will hear me giving people advice, wisdom, and this and that. They'll see all that, but they don't see it. They don't respect you. They don't. Let their eyes be dark as he pleases. See, that's why people that hate me, they love running to listen to me because I captivate them on the things I say, even if they don't believe it's true. They don't believe it's true because God didn't darken their eyes. Verse 11, I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? No, God has a specific purpose to fulfill, in allowing Israel to stumble so that salvation would come to the Gentile. See, y'all got to keep falling around me because when the time comes, when somebody's standing you up, you're going to be greatly convicted because they ain't going to be like me. You can recover from a stumble, but only if you recognize that you done failed. And what's wrong with a lot of y'all, you can't you can't address your real shortcomings because it'll make you look too weak. I don't care about calling myself a whore, a adulterer, fornicator, a liar, a thief, a manipulator, or whatever. But that's my testimony to tell you. You can't tell my testimony because you mad at how it turned out. See, to try to expose people because of anger, what you do, you validate God's gift of salvation, forgiveness, and repentance because now you want people mad at stuff that they didn't know what was going on. Stop that. You can't hurt us. Imputed righteousness. See, what y'all fail to see, whatever you say on this earth, it does weigh and play a part in eternity. What I said in the last video, God judges the reins, and he judges you according to what you done. See, you know how you got so mad and so angry that you couldn't stop it. That's how judge. That's how God gonna judge you. That's why I try to tell y'all, remain calm at all times. You don't even care it's the truth. Don't respond. I done taught y'all all this about communication. But some of these heathens, they get so mad when you go to telling stuff and dropping little nuggets. Now they want to come at you. Somebody sent me I ain't even read the dumb message. Like when I was talking, somebody owed me 5 more. They gonna send me a done. See him. Cash app don't lie. If I say somebody just sent me 500 and they ain't send me the other 500, I'm gonna go on. My cash app don't lie. My cash app don't glitch. So when I pull up that name and I don't see another, stop lying. God, I told that lady the other day. Somebody sent me $50 for yard work. I said, God, I'm gonna sit it here. I said, if they don't ask for it by tomorrow, it's mine. They asked for it. You know what I said? I said, you better be careful. Everybody ain't like me. My cash app ass don't lie. Now, somebody then people I don't even know. I've seen 200, 300, you know, 50, 60. I kept it. They didn't ask for it back. Only two people asked for it back. And that one of them was just yesterday. It ain't my money. And y'all walk around here and can't even pay cash out back. You deserve to be poor. How can you borrow for cash up and can't pay 50 or $100? But you say you in ministry. The word says if you can't take care of your own household, you worse than an infidel. So why this boy calling me 10:30 at night for less than $4. Something wrong somewhere. All right, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. All them aunties and uncles and this and that and I'm the worst thing that ever happened. But yet they want to call it. Why you can't call your aunties and uncle for $4? Brother Hubbard don't play that. I get mad over simple stuff. You know why? Because ignorance ain't my strong suit. Certainly not. But through that fall, to provoke them to jealousy, salvation has come to the Gentiles. Now, if they fall is riches for the world, and their failure riches for the Gentile, how much more their fullness? For I speak to you, Gentile, inasmuch as I am an apostle to the Gentile. I magnify my ministry if by any means I may provoke to jealousy those who are in the flesh and should save some of them. That's what we do. I make you mad. I make you cuss me out. I provoke people because maybe if I provoke you hard enough, well, God, why he doing such stuff? God, I wish I had this. God, I wish I had. And then here come Brother Hubbard teaching the message how to get it, and you won't listen to it because you too mad. So they fail. I mean, they fall. See, the gospel went out to the Gentiles because the Jewish people rejected. See, people that closest to me reject what I'm preaching, but the ones farther away, they accept. I done had people been around me 8, 9, 10 years and ain't really grown at all. And I done had people been around me 1 and 2 years and, and growing by leaps and bounds. Ah, see, you're supposed to be jealous enough that when I started telling my testimony, I well, I know Brother Hubbard said you're gonna have to go through something. With God, I'm just gonna have to go through it because I want more of you. Y'all can't do that. You know why? It's because then you become vulnerable. Then you become humble. Then you got to take off your mask. Then you got to get out of that sorority. Then you got to get out of that fraternity. Then you got to stop lying, fornicating. Then you got to stop just going to church. Y'all can't do that because that's your identity. You can scroll all you want on earth, but I guarantee you, ain't no scrolling in heaven. You can love sorrow and frat, brother, all you want on earth, but I guarantee you, ain't no sorrow and frat in heaven. I would show this video, but I refuse to show because this man had a dream. You know, hell is compartmentalized, just like heaven. And you could imagine some of the things that this man said according to what fraternity or sorority you were in. Because they are Greek gods, but they call themselves divine, which means you trying to steal God's glory. And the way and the way they were did in heaven, I said, thank God I don't want to be now. They even had babies down there getting tortured because their parents was laughing when they was up there, and the baby, listen here. When I stumble across this, don't share that with nobody. It exists. He go into great detail. So we gonna see what that elephant really mean to you. Huh? We gonna see what them colors really mean. Because when you get to hell with them, you ever seen fire that then burnt something to the crisp? But no, y'all ain't seen it. My fault. I'm explaining it wrong. You got okay, I can't tell. I ain't never seen this kind of heat. Thank you. I'm just gonna say this. You ever seen fire that's so hot it's crystal clear? That's all I'm gonna say. Have you ever seen fire that's so hot it's crystal clear? Which means you don't see the red, you don't see the blue, you don't see the little black, you don't see the white. It's crystal clear, like you're looking through glasses. Y'all do what y'all want to do. I ain't got nothing to say. Where you with? Mm.